I have to laugh. I'm sorry. This is so ridiculous. I can't stand here. I can't sit here.
Hey y'all, so I am back with another video today. And today, we are doing a video that I should have done a while ago, but quick update. I started a new job. It's a full-time job, and I also started school. So that's what's been taking up my time. But anyways, I'm here to do a book wrap up. Well, my July book wrap up, but you know, let's just talk about the things I've read in July, because I have thoughts, I have things I need to say, and yeah, I don't have nobody else to talk to about my books. Well, I do have my friend, but that's it. She's really the only person I talk to about books. My best friend, but I want to talk to y'all about it. Okay. So anyway, July. Listen, okay. Let me just be. July has honestly reading month. I'm willing to say it. Like, so far, July has been. Wait, no. I think January was my worst reading month. No. I'm being dramatic. I think January was my worst reading month, because I had quite a bit of DNFs. Well, no, I only read like 4 books, but two of them were DNFs. I don't know. It's between July and January in terms of reading months, but this one was not so good. Like, oh my god. I'm gonna start with what I read first. Honey and Spice. So, what do I really remember the summary of Honey and Spice? So, Honey and Spice follows this girl named Kiki, and she basically has like a podcast, you know, those feminine girl podcasts, whatever, stay away from men, these men ain't shit podcast. And she was messing around with this, I thought he was white, but apparently he's biracial, whatever his name is. I don't really give a fuck what his name is at this point. But there's also another character, what was his name? Is it Malachi? I think his name was Malachi. And he was new to campus or whatever. And she was basically on her podcast, basically telling people to stay away from him because he ain't no good, whatever, even though she didn't even know him for real. And meanwhile, she was telling people on her podcast, you know, the girls listen to her podcast now. Like, the girls on the campus, like, this takes place on a college. So that happens, and then there's this party that happens, right, or whatever. It's a get together, whatever the fuck. And to make the guy she was messing around with jealous, I don't remember his name, I don't care. To make him jealous, she and Malachi kissed. And that kind of starts the thing with her and Malachi. So they start fake dating to benefit Malachi with some type of program he's in. I don't really remember. And then it also benefits Kiki with her podcast thing and her image or whatever. I'm not a fan of fake dating. I'm not a fan of fake dating. Like, it has to work. It has to work in terms of, it just has to work. Like, what is the storyline here? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a big fake dating person. Like, the only way to me fake dating is really gonna work is if y'all are in high school. You know what I'm saying? Like, high school, you know, but grown ass people, like, why are y'all fake dating at, you know, this big age? Like, it has to work for me with the story. And like with Honey and Spice, it just, okay, I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. I forgot to tell y'all what stars I gave it. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. Do I recommend reading? It depends. Like, no. What I will say is that it works for some people. Like, the story, like, some people, like, I see how some people enjoy this, but for me, it wasn't really that enjoyable. Like, I enjoyed the writing. Like, the author is a very, very talented writer. I don't know how to pronounce their name. Sorry, but I'm not even gonna try and embarrass myself. But the author is a very talented writer. The writing is very good to me. And the audiobook, like the narration of the audio, like with the audiobook, I really enjoyed that. Because some audiobooks, I'd be like, who is talking on here? But I enjoyed that about the book. Like, it does have like commentary on racism, misogyny. Like, to me, that was, digestible. Like, it wasn't really that for me in terms of what really didn't hit. Like, what really didn't hit for me, it was the romance and like other parts of the plot. Like, it's not my cup of tea. Like, their romance was just not it. And also, like, the pop culture references to me were kind of a lot in the book. Like, I do enjoy a cute little pop culture reference in a book, but it was just doing a lot in this book. Like, it's just doing a lot. Like, oh, it was just hard for me to get into. Like, Kiki is annoying as fuck. She is annoying as fucking character. That's one reason why I wasn't really feeling the book. Like, she was annoying as fuck because she was a hypocrite. Like, you get on your sour ass podcast and you yell about men ain't shit, men ain't that. Meanwhile, you're messing around with a man who ain't shit, number one. And number two, you're also being a hypocrite because you don't even know Malachi and you're casting judgment based on what you see. Now, Malachi was judgmental towards her as well, but like, was he publicly judgmental and going on a fucking podcast and screaming that shit out loud? No, but you were. That's the difference. So yeah, and like, their romance was just blah. Like, it was just blah. Like, the second half of the book was not really for me. Like, it just felt like cringe and unnecessary. I don't know, like, all that stuff that happened in the plot for me was just not really necessary. Like, I get we're trying to build a story, but like, I just wasn't feeling it. I also wish that we did get Malachi's point of view in the story. That's one reason why I kind of deducted, I guess, points from the book or whatever. Like, I feel like dual POV matters a lot when we're doing romance books. Like, I'm slowly realizing that, like, dual POV to me just means a lot within a romance book because we're getting the perspective of both of the main characters, in my opinion, whereas we really just got Kiki's point of view and her self-centered, annoying ways. I don't know, like, it was just not for me. But yeah, it just got a 3 stars for me. Like, the plot was just not, like, it wasn't the entire plot. Like, it was just certain parts of the plot, like, towards the end of the book, honestly. And Kiki and Malachi's romance, to me, just was forced. Next book I read is The Neighbor Favor by Christina Forrest. I gave The Neighbor Favor 3 out of 5 stars. The Neighbor Favor follows this girl named Lily, and she an editor's assistant at this like big company in New York or whatever. And she basically is working at this company so she could work her way up into becoming an editor. And she basically she reads. So she was reading this novel, she was reading this series that she really loves by an author who is basically like unknown. So She basically emailed that author and basically was talking about like how she enjoyed their series and, you know, basically giving them their flowers or whatever. And eventually that person started to email her back, and they were going back and forth. So they were emailing back and forth, and they basically kind of formed a relationship, emailing back and forth. And one day they were supposed to like, what is it called, FaceTime or whatever the fuck. And he basically like flaked out on her, and he basically like blocked her or whatever. So he basically ghosted her. And so that was that. And so after that, we follow this point of view of this guy named Nick, and he is basically a writer, and he is moving to New York because he's trying to I think he's doing like a television series of his book series or something like that. So he's in New York for that. So he lives in this apartment building, and he comes across Lily, and they basically kind of form this friendship or whatever. And Lily is also looking for a date for her sister's wedding. So she's basically trying to see if he can be her date for the wedding, and it basically follows that journey. And yeah, that's kind of like it with the story without me spoiling it, I think. I don't know if that was a good narration or summary of the story, but that's kind of it. Honestly, this book was kind of the biggest disappointments for me this year. I did enjoy the author's writing style. I definitely did. But some parts of the plot for me was just a little ridiculous. Like, I know this is fiction. This is romance. So there's some, you know, I'm going to have to suspend my disbelief in some areas, right? Like, I get it. But, like, it was just kind of like, what? Like, also enjoyed how they were able to do two main characters and, like, dual POV while also giving us enough about the characters to be not the characters, but like the side characters to be connected to them, like her sisters and like the neighbors that Nick was living next to. First of all, her sisters are raggedy. I see what they were trying to do, you know, they're trying to, you know, just be supportive of their sister or whatever, but y'all were raggedy and annoying. Do I recommend this book? Like, it's exactly how I feel about the last book, Honey and Spice. Like, it's not going to be for everybody, but like, I feel like some people will enjoy the story, but for me, it's just not for me. I also did like how the characters were black and they were interested in books. Like, I enjoyed that most about the story. Like, you know, like a black couple, like being interested in books and stuff. Like, I love that. You know, that was cute to me. Yeah, and this is a little bit spoilish. Lily and Nick's romance was blah to me. Like, I was really not rooting for them at all. Like, throughout this book, I wasn't really rooting for them. Like, it was just doing a lot. They didn't really date either. Like, they've been on 2 dates. Like, they really didn't even get to know each other. Well, you know, hold on. They did kind of. Well, I already said this was a little spoilers. This is spoilers. They did kind of get to know each other via email, because, spoiler, he is the person she was emailing. He is the author. You know, the unknown author who, you know, finally wanted to reveal themselves or whatever. But, I just, like, they didn't really date. Like, y'all been on 2 dates. Like, y'all still, like, yeah, you got to know them through email, but like, y'all need to get to know each other in person. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, maybe it's just me. Like, y'all been to 2 dates, and then y'all did that little family cookout, and I don't remember what the other thing was, but it wasn't really a date technically. Like, y'all did have some cute romantic moments that I like did enjoy, but like, it just wasn't, I don't know, something about that felt forced as well. I don't know. Like, it just wasn't really giving to me. next book I read is Such a Fun Age. And I don't have a rating. I literally have a question mark. I don't have a rating for this book. I don't know. Here's the thing. Such a Fun Age is about this girl named Amari. And she kind of, well, her name is Amari. And she is a nanny for this girl named Alex, whatever her name is. And she goes to this store or whatever, and she is watching over what her name, Alex's child, the child's name, but she had a child, and because she's the nanny, and she basically was in that store letting the child pick through peanuts or watch something. And people in that store, like the security guard, was accusing her of, kidnapping the girl because she's black and the child is white or whatever. And then it starts off with this story about Alex being Elix, whatever her name is, I don't know, being this racist, I'm not a racist, but I'm not racist, but I have microaggression ways about myself, and I want to try and get to know the nanny, the lady who is taking care of my children, even though I don't know. And then she also meets this guy named Kelly. She's dating him, and Kelly is white and he has black friends, so he also has this weird thing with because he has black friends, he think he can do and say whatever. It's just weird. I don't know, first of all, and then I don't know, it's just weird. I don't even know how to actually summarize this book. It's just all over the place. What I'm going to say to you is that the summary of the book is misleading, number one. Number two, the summary of the book is misleading, number one. And number two, this book is not what you think it's going to be. It's not a thriller. It's not any of that. It's honestly unserious. But I think it's supposed to be unserious because the stuff that happened in this book happens to people in real life. Especially in terms of white people and how they think about black people and how they treat black people. So I understand the message of the book, but it was just so unserious to me that it was just entertaining at that point. That child, I don't remember the child's name, but the child that Amari was looking after, the child she was basically raising and being a nanny to, that child is neurodivergent. I'm pretty sure most of us already figured that out throughout the book, but the child is definitely neurodivergent. I did not read this book. I listened to it through audio. So that's how, listening to it through audio, you're going to get a different perspective of different voice actors and things of that such. But if you were just reading the book, you probably wouldn't be able to figure that out. But she's definitely neurodivergent. I don't really care what y'all say. She definitely is. And her mom has this weird, I don't know, it's just if you rated this book greater than 3, I don't know, you need to tell me why. I really don't know how I'm supposed to feel about this book. My issue mainly is with the marketing of the book. It's just misleading down to the title. Why is it called Such a Fun Age? If you're telling a book Such a Fun Age, I'm gonna think that this book is about a coming of age, a coming of age novel about maybe somebody, adulting, coming of age, such a fun age. I'm at this, I'm in my 20s and I should be having fun, or I'm about to have fun. I'm having these experiences in my 20s. That's what I think about the title when I think of Such a Fun Age. I don't know. I just feel hoodwinked and bamboozled. All the characters in this book, all of the characters are weird. Even down to Mari, I don't know if she's the main character, but I guess we could say she's the main character. Even down to her, because I have questions for her. you're not worried enough for me. You're not worried enough for me. Like, where is the vigilance? Where's the vigilance? Because as a black girl, especially a black girl who was living in was it Jersey, New York, you're not vigilant enough to me when it comes to these white people, and I'm just not understanding. Everybody is weird though. Elix, her husband, Elix's friend group, weirdo, racist. Like, she think like it's just like Mari, Kelly, like everybody is weird except for the kids. Elix kids, because she had 2 kids. I don't remember their names. Oh, one of them were named Catherine. That was the baby, but I don't remember the other child's name. It's like at the tip of my tongue. The summary of the book is, white privilege, black people being commodified by white people. So the plot did touch on the terms of that and the dynamic between Mari, Elix, and Kelly. And like that whole thing with Elix and her nannies and commodifying black people in that way, and Kelly and his black friends and commodifying black people in that way. So I don't know. I really don't know how I'm supposed to feel about that book. So yeah. But other parts of the plot that is incorporated to make this commentary, it just kind of makes me be like, what? Like, and I also think it's making me be like, what? Because of the marketing. Like, reading the summary and then looking at the marketing of the book is just vastly different from what the book is, and that just irritates me. But yeah, did I enjoy the book for its entertainment because of how unserious it was with how like delusional and weird the character were? Yeah, because it was just like, what is wrong with these people, But yeah, next book I read was I listened to all these books. I didn't read any of these books. The next audiobook I listened to was A Song Below Water. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars, but honestly, something in me feel like I need to reread this book. It's about these girls named Effie and Tavia, and they are black sirens, black mermaids. And the story is basically about that, and also like the social commentary of racism, discrimination, and it's incorporated together in the plot. So basically, they're black sirens and mermaids that are kind of forbidden to be that where they are in the society that they live in. So they're kind of trying to navigate that and also navigate, social issues that are going on, like racism, discrimination, and all that. I loved Effie and Tavia's relationship and the dialogue. I also love the commentary on like black hair, and I also love the cover. I love the cover of the book. Like, it's so gorgeous. I did have a hard time understanding the magical system and like the mythos within the world. It was also a lot going on throughout the plot with the fantastical elements and the social injustice, and some of it didn't really tie together all that well to me. But I honestly think I should re-listen to the book. I think I'm going to re-listen to the book, honestly, because it's just certain things I'm confused about. Like, this month I recently listened to Skin of the Sea, and I had to start it over midway because I just didn't really understand what was going on. So I started over, and I'm glad that I did. So when I have time, I think I may just start A Song Below Water over, because I'm just kind of like, I feel like I should give it another try. But I did just give it a 3. But I honestly want to just restart the story to see if maybe I missed something, or, So yeah, because I did find it interesting with having black siren characters, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all know I love, first of all, for those of you who don't know, I love a good magical element. I love a good mythos, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's my thing. Like, I love that in stories, and I love how people, take that and make a story out of it and then create a commentary with it, with stuff that happens in the real world, in our world. So yeah, I really want to try it again. And Tavia's parents can go to hell. So yeah, that's all I had to say about that. Do I recommend reading? I can't. I'm not gonna say I recommend it because I need to start over the story. So I ain't gonna say that yet until I start over the story and tell y'all how I really, really feel. You know what I'm saying? That ain't fair. But yeah, next book that I read, which just made my month like better. Book I read was Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B.Alston. And I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. Like, I adored this entire story. Like, I just love it. Like, it was everything that I love about books. Like, just everything about books. Like, I love the message of like self-confidence, friendships, trust, perseverance. Like, I just love that. And I just, okay, so first, this book's follow this girl named Amari, and she is basically like, she's young. She's a young black girl. I don't remember where she's from, but she lives in poverty, and it's just her and her mom, and it was her brother, her older brother, but her brother went missing, and he's been missing. I want to say he's been missing for like months, and like her mom works a lot because they live in poverty, and she goes to like this private school, and she experiences discrimination there. So, and she's also experiencing grief because, you know, she doesn't know where her brother is. So she's going through a lot. And apparently her brother was in this academy. I don't really know the particular name, but it's this magical academy or whatever, and her brother basically nominated her to be a part of this academy so she can, you know, experience what he experienced being there. And, you know, yeah, so this magical academy is basically where people go. I don't know, I think you have to be chosen to go there. Yeah, you have to be chosen and nominated to go there. It's basically like a secret society or whatever. And basically she is going there because her brother nominated her, but she's also going there to find her brother because he was, and I don't remember the particular name for it, but he was basically like an officer there. So he was doing like missions and stuff. He was basically well known in that academy for the work he did. So he basically went missing on one of those missions there, and the bureau don't really know, you know, what really happened to him. Well, they know, but, you know, they don't know. So yeah, so she's basically there navigating, trying to prove herself to people there, and she's basically navigating, trying to find her brother. I just loved everything about this book. Like, I love the magic system. Like, I love the magic system. I love the powers that people had there. Like, it was just so clever. Like, I just adored that. Like, I loved Amari as a main character as well. Like, she wasn't really annoying. Like, of course some characters are annoying, but like, I just loved how she was stubborn, but like sometimes stubbornness can be like an advantage because it was kind of like she didn't stop until she found what she needed. And yeah, like I also really love the side characters as well. Like, if you are like black and you love fantastical elements and sci-fi books, or like just books that have like good magical systems and stuff like that, and you're black, like I highly recommend Amari and the Night Brothers because I just loved everything about this book. Like, when I start writing and I write, you know, my fantastical book, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the book I aspire. Not like a copy and paste, but like I aspire to have like the good writing style, like the detailed fantastical elements that's easy for people to understand, like a good magic system that's just clever and just like makes sense. And it's just like, I just love it. Like, I just loved everything about it. Even taking like stuff like using Van Helsing and like different, like using other myths and like stuff from like what we know it to be and recreating it and making it, you know, making it different in your story. Like Amari and the Night Brothers definitely is a 5 out of 5 for me. Like if you love that type of stuff, like I highly recommend listen to or read Amari and the Night Brothers, because I'm gonna get the physical copy and put it in my collection because I just need it. So yeah, it is a part. I think it's 3 parts. I haven't read the second part yet, but I'm definitely gonna get into it. Like even the plot twist, like even the plot twist within the book just worked for me. Like it just made sense. Like the plot twist even made sense in the book. Like it was just everything. Like when I talk about a plot twist and how you should do a plot twist, like this is the way to do it. This is the way to do it. Like I adored it. But yeah, that is what I read in July. Yeah, it wasn't all that great. You know what? No, it wasn't all that great. But Amari and the Night Brothers definitely saved me. It saved me. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, please give this video a like, and also comment down below what you read, what you reading this month, what you're reading next month. You know, have you read any of these books? If you did, tell me how you feel about them in the comments. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.
Anyway.